Alright everyone, this is crazy. First episode, not really, it's the intro, but let's run it. It's kind of crazy, I'm nervous. Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Let me know. You can hit me up anywhere. Alright, I wrote a letter a few days ago, actually like 2 weeks ago. I've been thinking about starting a podcast for a really long time, and by the title of this video, you can already tell I'm going to start a podcast, right? Before this video starts, or before this podcast starts, this is going to be the one and only video that's going to be on my main channel, and that's going to be on my podcast channel. So this is a little letter I wrote. I am just going to read it, I guess. I hope it doesn't seem unauthentic because I'm reading it, but I literally wrote this in 5 minutes, and every single word in here I truly mean, and it's really hard for me to articulate my thoughts and ideas. So I am going to read what I read and just kind of add on. So I'm starting this podcast to share my thoughts and how I feel. It's time to open up and be vulnerable, which is very, very true. It is time to open up and be vulnerable. I'm going to have a lot of guests on this show. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous, but I'm nervous. I'm going to have a lot of guests on the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. By the title of this video, you already know I'm starting a podcast. I'll talk more about that in just a moment here, but quickly I want to talk about YouTube. So, today's date is February 13th. I've been doing YouTube for 2 years now, a little bit over 2 years, 2 years and a month. I think my first video was like January 29th of 2019, so just over 2 years, which 2 years doing YouTube is really not a long time. I've grown my channel a little bit, but not something I'm completely satisfied with, which is fine because I know growing a YouTube channel, especially a personal brand, takes hard work, consistency, and what else did I write here? Oh yeah, and I just said, and everything else, which I really do give hard work and consistency, but I don't give it my 100%. It's really hard. I'm really alone, and I'm very ADHD, and there's nothing to keep me on a fucking schedule. Not a schedule, kind of a schedule, but that's not the word I'm looking for. There's nothing keeping me, what the fuck is the specific word I'm looking for? Not in shape, because that's like very not the right word. Like in order. I have no structure in my life. So I just feel like life is a complete mess. So we're going to talk a lot about how I feel, what's going on, what's happening behind like my ideas, / the thoughts behind the video / the content I release. Like, we're just going to be talking about everything. We're going to be talking about life experience, life story, gaining knowledge. I'm going to bring a lot of people on, and it's actually going to be a really good time. I have a lot of good ideas already. We're going to be learning a lot on this podcast. So now I'm going to go back to my little script here. I do give effort and whatever, but not my 100%. I do want to say, though, which is very true, I do want to say, I thought 2 years ago when I started my YouTube channel, I thought growing a YouTube channel and a personal brand, I'm like so, anyways, I thought it was going to be a lot easier. I thought you were going to just release content and people were going to watch, and it's kind of like that, but really not really. Like, if you told me 2 years ago where I'd be, I would think I would be close to 1 million subscribers right now. No fucking cap. Okay, maybe not 1 million, but like at least like a couple 100K for real, which is not the case. I have 3K, and like this is like the weirdest thing ever. I don't know why the reaction videos do so well. I remember in the summer people were talking about for me to do the reaction videos, and I was like, okay, and they were like the only videos that got views, really. Like the only videos that got views, really. Like all my other vlogs, like I think I have like 3 vlogs that have over 1K, and that's literally it. Which is fine, as I mentioned. It does take hard work, consistency, and everything else involved. But I definitely fucking thought this shit was going to be easier. And it's not. That's okay, though, because it does take hard work. And I'm for it. I'm really, really for it. I love YouTube. It's so fun. I would just wish more people were watching, but I guess that'll come in time for sure. Okay, this now is not going to get deep, but it's going to get interesting. With posting my life on the internet, it's been something really fun, but it's also been something quite weird. It's definitely an experience, as you can imagine. I think everyone can tell. Okay, now this is really true. While making YouTube videos, like entertainment YouTube videos, like trying to like a regular YouTube video, a vlog, a video, I think everyone can tell that there's something off. For sure. Maybe you can't tell, but I can definitely tell that there's something off. And it's not like I haven't been truthful. It's just I have a lot of anxiety. And I think everyone has anxiety in different ways. Everything affects people, right? No one is perfect. Blah, blah, blah. We all know that already. I hope we all know that. Anyways, I have a lot of anxiety, and I think everyone can tell. when I'm posting these videos on YouTube, I feel like I don't want to come off as unauthentic. I just get really fucking awkward. This next part, I'm going to say something about anxiety and pressure, but it sounds like I say depression, but I'm talking about like the pressure being under camera. There's something about the camera, I don't know why, that it just makes me like my anxiety and the pressure just runs through the fucking roof, and it makes no sense. I'm definitely getting better, but it is something I'm like trying to work on and grow. Now we're going back to the little letter I wrote here. I want to start sharing my life experience and my life story because it's going to make a lot of sense when I release the other content videos, like the entertainment videos. You'll just understand me more and understand like where I'm coming from when I say certain things and do certain things. And it really, really does not make sense to... I guess it does make sense to talk about it in videos, but I feel like if I'm going to talk about it, I have to go... Oh my god. Everything is just happening right now. I have to go really in depth, which is like, then it's just like I'm dedicating a whole video to it. So I may as well start a podcast. So here we are today. Yes, this video is going to be on YouTube, but it's going to be on a different channel, and it's just going to be a whole different vibe. Like, this is going to be like 100% authentic, truthful, and I'm not saying that the videos aren't truthful. It's just like the vlogs and everything is just a whole different style. It's entertainment. This is like me going into depth of real things. It's like a fucking cheap therapy session that it's free for me. Hopefully, and I know, not even hopefully, I know people are going to be able to relate because it is going to be something really interesting. I can talk about like the craziest shit I've experienced in life, like real life experiences is like, I've experienced some really fucked up shit, like really, really fucked up shit. And I'm excited to talk about it because I know it's like, there's so many people dealing with fucked up shit, but it's just weird. I don't know. It's just like an awkward topic. Now going to the next section of my little script. Having a podcast where I can be truthful and raw about everything and share the process of something different that seems intriguing. Okay, whoa. I said a lot here that I don't even know what I fucking mean. Having a podcast where I can be truthful and raw about everything and share the process is something different. I guess I just touched on that. Oh my god, I'm so tired out of nowhere. Oh my god, I hope people are watching. I have nothing to lose. Not with the podcast, but like usually just in my day-to-day life, I usually just think like, fuck it. Like I literally dead ass have nothing to lose here. Okay, now this is like the last section of the podcast. I mean, the script, and then I'm gonna just like really talk raw. I love making YouTube videos, which I really do. I'm not gonna stop them either. So I said here, I love making YouTube videos. I'm still gonna continue them, but I think I need to share the thought process on everything because it'll make a lot of sense for you and I both on how I do and run things in my life. I'll even be able to learn about myself more, but without sharing my life story. Okay, this is really deep. Like, this sentence is so deep, and like, you'll understand when I start talking about the real shit, but without sharing my life story and life experiences, making YouTube videos feel like I'm putting on a show, which is true, like, and it is like a show, right? Like, this is a show too, but this is like a different type of style, different vibe, completely different vibe, but with the content, like, oh my god, you already know what I mean, like with the different type of YouTube videos style. The other style, like vlogs and whatnot, it is like putting up a show, and like sometimes when I'm filming, I just like don't want to film because I feel like I'm being fake as fuck, but I don't know how to be otherwise, but there's just like so much happening in here and in here, which now you'll understand, but yeah. So, I got a name for the podcast. Now, this is 100% raw. Now, as of this point on, this podcast is going to be 100% raw. There's going to be no script. We're just going to be following ideas or like, what is the fucking word? I failed English. I failed high school, basically. I cheated my way through high school and still barely passed. Like a bracket, like a point, a bullet point, right? We're not going to be scripted. We're just going to be going through bullet points of topics. So from this moment on, that's the truth, only the truth, nothing but the truth. We are commending... Who do they commend? Do they commend God? I don't know. They commend someone when they're in court. They're like, I will say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And then the judge says everything you say can be used and will be used against you in the court of law, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, so this is going to be the intro to the podcast. I did name the fucking podcast Life with Lotus because it is corny. Don't get me wrong. I know it's corny as fuck, but I didn't know what else to name it. Life with Lotus just fit, and what's the word? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Alliteration. I think it's an alliteration when you use like two letters or like a few letters like apples, Alabama, or like apples in Alabama. Like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Anyways, I just like the sound of the two L's. So Life with Lotus. Like, I love that. That sounds so great. I do think it's pretty corny though. And I got a sick artist to do the logo for me because I'm not creative like that. I cannot draw. I can just put content together. That's really it, which is fine. I love it. Do I have anything else to say? Oh yeah, we may as well do the first podcast intro, because I'm going to have an intro. Where is it now? I have a script for the podcast intro. That's it, though. I'll be able to memorize it. It's so easy. This is the intro to the podcast, though. Like this, what you're watching now is like the intro to the podcast. This is not the first episode. This is just the intro. Episode 1 I'm going to be filming it right after this. But this is the intro that you're going to hear every podcast. And yeah, let's just say it together. What's good, everybody? We're on the intro episode of Life with Lotus, raw and unfiltered. I'm your host, Lotus Mesic. You can find this podcast on YouTube, Spotify. Ooh, I hope I'm not talking too close to the mic. You can find this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And if you didn't know, Apple Podcasts is free for all iPhone users, and make sure to leave a 5-star review while you're there. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about the intro to the podcast. And that was the first read we did together. Anyways, roll the intro music. So yes, this podcast is going to be on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So as I mentioned earlier, there's something about being camera that's really, really different that I can't explain. And I think every content creator understands what I mean by that. But there's something on camera that's just like anxiety through the roof. So I've been wanting to make a podcast for a while now. I've really gotten into podcasts the last like 4 months. I've listened to podcasts every day for hours and hours and hours. Because, like, what else do we do, you know? Like, we're just in lockdown. So that's what really made me want to start a podcast. I just listen to, like, podcasts constantly. I listen to Emma Chamberlain, David Dobrik, Graham Stephan. Who else do I listen to? Occasionally, I've listened to Impulsive, Logan Paul's podcast a few times. Who else do I listen to? I listen to Crime Junkies, H3. H3 is so funny. That does not even seem like a podcast. It's so funny, though. Anyways, so because of all of that, I really want to start a podcast. I don't know why I just started talking about that. There was a reason. I actually forget. I don't know. Weird. Oh yeah, I remember. Sorry, I'm so fucking ADHD. So, because I've been wanting to start a podcast the past few months, because of my anxiety and being on camera, I originally wanted to have the podcast exclusively on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and then I really thought about it, and I was like, damn, I don't think that's the smartest decision because I'm not that big, and if I filmed it and posted it onto YouTube, there's a lot of exposure there, hence now we're filming it and we are posting it on YouTube. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this intro episode. I really hope people are going to watch it. Actually, I don't even hope people are going to watch it because I know like the craziest shit and stories I'm going to say on here. Like there's no way people won't watch it. Just expect the craziest shit. Like I've been through shit and back. Like yeah, we're going to talk about a lot. We're going to go deep. We're going to be vulnerable. We're going to be raw. But we're also going to have a lot of fun. I have a lot of ideas of bringing guests on and like doing certain things. We're going to bring in some people who run small businesses, content creators. Like we're just going to be doing the most out here. The podcast is going to be a really good time. I think people are going to like the podcast a lot more than the YouTube videos because this is actually going to be authentic. And I think this is going to help with the YouTube videos. I'm not going to stop the entertainment videos. I love them. They're fun. Just this is going to help a lot. Anyways, this was the intro episode to Life with Lotus. Wherever you guys are watching this, I hope you guys make sure to follow me or subscribe. Leave a review. I don't know how it works. I think you subscribe to people on YouTube. Yeah, well, I know you subscribe to people on YouTube. I think you subscribe to people on Apple Podcasts, and you definitely follow people on Spotify. I think that was the first. I think we're done here for the first little intro of the podcast. This episode, if you're watching it on YouTube, actually, if wherever you're listening to this episode, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, I think I'm going to edit this episode just a bit. It was scripted a little bit, so I'm just going to edit the choppiness and anxiety that you can hear in my voice. But anyways, yes, this was the first intro. I guess you can say this is the first episode. This is the first unofficial episode of Life with Lotus. Episode 1 is we're going to be talking about how everyone has anxiety and how I have a lot of anxiety, but like how I deal with it. But yeah, thank you guys. We're a little under 20 minutes deep for the first unofficial episode. of Life with Lotus. Thank you guys so much. Keep listening. Keep watching wherever you're doing this. We're going to go far. It's going to be great. 2021 is going to be the year of success for me. Just watch. It's going to happen. Crazy shit is going to happen. Also, I think I want to get a puppy. I've been thinking about that a lot the past few days. I don't know, though. Anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Awesome. That was cool. That was fun.